America, how many warnings do you need? Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And I tend to think of things, being a salesperson, as a salesperson. And I'm reminded of our present situation by a story and a close that I used to use that was taught to me by several different people that I want to share with you. Maybe it will get our point across of what are we waiting for. Here's the story. A terrible storm came into town, and local officials sent out an emergency warning that the riverbanks would soon overflow and flood the nearby homes. They ordered everybody in the town to evacuate immediately. Now, a faithful religious man heard the warning and decided to stay, saying to himself, I'll trust in God, and if I'm in danger, then God will send a divine miracle to save me. The neighbors came by his house and said to him, We're leaving, and there's room for you in our car. Please come with us. The man declined. I have faith that God will save me. Now, as the man stood on his porch watching the water rise up the steps, a man in a canoe paddled by and called out to him, Hurry! Come into my canoe! The waters are rising quickly! But the man again said, No thanks, God will save me. Now the flood waters rose higher, pouring water into his living room, and the man had to retreat to the second floor. A police motorboat came by and saw him at the window. Hey, we're going to come and rescue you, they shouted, but the man refused, waving them off, saying, Use your time to save somebody else. I have faith that God will save me. The flood waters rose even higher and higher, and the man had to climb up to the rooftop. And a helicopter spotted him and dropped a rope ladder down. And a rescue officer came down the ladder and pleaded with the man, Please grab my hand and I'll pull you up. But the man still refused, folding his arms tightly to his body. No thank you, God will save me. Shortly after the house broke up, and the floodwaters swept the man away and he drowned. When in heaven, the man stood before God and asked, Hey, I put all of my faith in you. Why didn't you come and save me? And the Lord said, Son, I sent you a warning. I sent you a car. I sent you a canoe. I sent you a motorboat. I sent you a helicopter. What more were you looking for? Folks, isn't that the situation that we find ourselves in? We got notification early in January that, hey, we've got this terrible virus. Then we heard from the powers that be, there's 15 people, this thing's going to go away. Oh, when the warm weather comes, this puppy's going to run away. It's just going to disappear. We're not going to have any problem. And the scientists kept saying to us, wash your hands, cover your face, social distance. We got the warnings. We see other countries. And now, what are we doing? We're taking the number one expert and belittling him in favor of Chuck Woolery, a game show host, telling us this is the way that we ought to act. How many different warnings do we need that this guy in the White House hasn't got the first clue? Now, I want you to raise your hands out there, okay? Here's the scenario. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to gather what you need, your good clothes, your suits, your ties, your good dresses, those types of things, your Sunday best. I want you to pack them. And what I want you to do is I want you to go on an airplane, and I want you to fly down to the place in the country that has the biggest outbreak, the biggest spike that we've ever seen in this country since the pandemic started. I want you to crowd into a hotel, and then I want you to crowd into a convention center so that you can clap for me, scream for me, yell for me to run for a second term to continue doing what I'm currently doing, and put your life at risk while you're doing it. That's the important thing. Hello? This is the guy that's leading us. Is this what we want to do? Does this make any kind of sense whatsoever? Isn't it time that we said, hey, I've got enough warnings. The helicopter has come. The helicopter is here. We're seeing cases skyrocket like nobody's business. It's time for us to grab onto the rope. Please, please, if we want to survive in any way, shape, or form here in this country in a timely manner, I mean, ultimately we're going to survive, but do you want it to take years or do you want it to take months? We've got to get the numbers down to something that is workable. Having 60,000 new cases every day is not workable. We've got to take the move now and get this thing under control. We need proper leadership, and we're not getting it. So, and there's no way that we can get rid of this guy right now, and we can't afford to wait until next, what is it, January, when we put a new president in. We can't afford to wait that long. So we need the governors to say, you know what, the hell with him. I've got to protect myself, I've got to protect my people, and take some action now. Now is the time. So let's rally around proper leadership and get this thing taken care of. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's get onto the boat, get out of here, and charge! I'm Eli's dad.